Good afternoon. I'm going to share what we are doing here in NTU in terms of augmented virtual reality and technology-enhanced learning. I'm going to cover 5W, just like Senji mentioned, 5 Ws. The first one, the motivation. Actually, why we do this augmented virtual reality kinds of things. I'm from mechanical and aerospace engineering. We have typically 600 to 800 students per intake. Okay, given so large number of cohort students, but our workshop, mechanical engineering, we always have workshop. We have limited number of turning machines, CNC machines. I think it's about the same. Many other universities have these kinds of similar problem. So at the end of the day, our students have very limited access to those workshop for hands-on experience. Okay, and the running a workshop actually is not cheap. You have this initial investment, you have maintenancing, you have consumables. Of course, safety is one of the major concerns. Similarly, in aerospace engineering, our students actually have even worse to access those machines like jet engines. And in chemical and biological engineering, those pilot plant, civil engineering, student to access construction site. Okay, so a lot of time, because of the physical constraints, our students have very limited access to those equipment, those machines. Okay, and then the next W. That's the reason we want to do something different. We want to have alternative solutions. And many of you know NTU, we have Hive from outside to inside, all very beautiful. But I guess not many people know actually inside the Hive there is a room I called virtual augmented reality avatar flipped classroom. It's a VR AR ready classroom. In fact, our students, especially engineering students, are already using this classroom for learning engineering subject like assemblies, disassemblies, like AI for intelligence for lifting and the constructions. Okay, what I would like to highlight is next W's. What are the things we designed or developed? Okay, so for this particular flipped classroom, to me, actually, it's an immersive and an interactive learning environment consisting of hardware, software, pedagogy, and the contents. I spent more than 6 months figuring out what are the hardware suitable for this flipped classroom. It's an AR, VR ready classroom. Of course, we purchase those commodity projection system, computers, and we configure in such a way, optimized good enough for VR, AR, particularly real-time kinds of interactions. And we develop software, we also create content. Okay. More importantly, I think the pedagogies. Particularly, I would like to have in a minute to talk about something we come up called in-depth learnings. So for this particular flipped classroom, earlier I mentioned the physical one is very costly. For this, actually, we have a very lower initial investment. We have also lower consumable. We have a lower maintenance labor costs. Okay, and we do have something higher, high efficiency. And our students can access the room 24 hours a day, okay? And because of virtual augmented reality, the high rhythm is there. And I think the other high interest. Our student is engaged in such an environment when they are learning like engineering things, okay? But very, very importantly, the safety. Now it's absolutely safe for our student to play the cranes or to assemble jet engine machines. So this flipped classroom actually supporting flipped learnings. And to me, actually, we designed once these flipped classrooms fit many different use. For instance, mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, biological science, and chemical and biological engineering, even humanities. So all these things, I think we do have some benefit from such a design, and more importantly, is the scalability. We can easily duplicate the things in other classrooms to have the feature of virtual augmented reality things. And then now, because of time constraint, I'm not going to discuss those behind the flipped classroom. In fact, I have quite a number of students working on fundamental research at the PhD or master levels. Okay, and for this, okay, my next W is how, what is the unique things with flipped classrooms. I will use the example of these turning machines. In fact, in my school, the workshop, we have about 4 or 5 turning machines. So we, based on exactly the same dimension, the parameters, we create a virtual versions. Okay, now in the flipped classroom, you can see our student, actually, they use a virtual environment to do the same thing like flight simulators. Okay, and from there, our student actually develop a lot of things. Okay, and particularly, I think the in-depth learning I would like to just quickly mention. Firstly, is a team-based learning. Of course, the technology is embedded, and it is a small group. You see from the pictures, we have about 4 or 5 students in a group. Altogether, the class is catering for 30 students. Okay, and we have lots of projects. Many of them are virtual-based kinds of project work. So our student is now using the technology to solve some of the problem, like in machinings, in constructions, okay, in oil gas industry for maintenance services. Okay, so in quality-based, through this kinds of setting is indeed somehow developed, and our students have the interactivity kinds of newer benefit from such an environment. It's very important, and more importantly, I think it's immersive learnings. I do not really hope our students, each and everyone, have a HMD, because in learnings, the communication is so important. If everyone is immersed, fully immersed in such a HMD environment, they can't talk to each other, they can't see each other. I'm going to show one of the videos. Okay. In fact, we have published quite a number of books talking about what we are doing in terms of technology, in terms of pedagogies. And also, we have published quite a number of papers in those journals. So the last W is what next? We are interested to further develop the technology, particularly in the AR and the VR kinds of things. And the technology innovation is very much related to the education. So we hope these things can seamlessly integrate it. And we are also in the process of doing quality and a quantitative evaluation, saying, for instance, we have a student group using the virtual system compared to the physical one. So we hope to do something controlled experiment from the statistic kinds of analytics. We would like to see what kinds of actual benefit our student can have. And of course, we are looking for more collaborations with colleagues from different schools, okay, from even internationally. Okay, I would like to thank those people who helped this project work. Yeah, that's about all for me. Thank you.